My name is Harper Quinn. I'm 30 years old and I teach kindergarten in a small town outside Nashville. This is the story of the night my mother-in-law tried to burn my marriage to the ground, and how I built a new one from the ashes. I'd spent all afternoon making Noah's favorite, smoky brisket, mac and cheese from scratch, and cornbread still sizzling in the cast iron skillet. I wanted everything perfect because I was finally ready to tell him I was 8 weeks pregnant. I'd even tucked the ultrasound picture inside a tiny pair of cowboy booties and set them on his plate like a present. But when I carried the food to the table, Diane, my mother-in-law, was already sitting there like she owned the place. Noah had said she was just stopping by for a minute. She never left. Halfway through dinner, I saw it, Diane leaning over, whispering something in Noah's ear. His jaw tightened. His fork stopped moving. Then he looked at me like I was a stranger. "Is it true?" His voice was low and shaking. "You've been lying to me this whole time?" I blinked. "Noah, what are you—" His hand moved so fast I didn't even see it coming. The slap knocked me sideways. I tasted blood where my tooth cut the inside of my cheek. My knees hit the hardwood, and the nausea I'd been fighting all day won. I threw up right there on the floor between us. My purse had fallen with me. The little white pharmacy bag spilled out. The pregnancy test rolled across the floor and stopped at Noah's boot. He stared at it like it was a loaded gun. "Harper, you're—" I pressed a shaking hand to my swelling lip. "Yeah, I was going to tell you tonight. Surprise." Diane gasped theatrically. "Oh, honey, women in her condition get hormonal. They say things—" The front door flew open. Our neighbor Mia, who also happens to be a 911 dispatcher, stood there holding her phone, eyes wide. I heard yelling, "Harper, are you okay?" I wasn't, but I was done pretending I ever would be in that house again. Noah and I met 4 years ago at a dive bar on Broadway. He was wearing a faded flannel and laughing at his own bad dance moves. I thought he was the safest man I'd ever met. We got married in his grandma's backyard with wildflowers and string lights, and for 2 years it really was perfect. Then Diane's husband left her, and Noah felt guilty. And suddenly she had a key to our house and an opinion on everything I did wrong. The laundry wasn't folded right. I didn't cook enough red meat. I worked too many hours for a real wife. Noah started repeating her words like they were gospel. I hid the pregnancy as long as I could. I wanted one happy moment that was just ours before she turned it into another thing I was doing wrong. But that night, after the slap, everything cracked wide open. Mia helped me to her guest room. I took a picture of my face. Split lip, red handprint blooming across my cheek, and sent it to my older sister Lauren, who's a divorce attorney in Atlanta. By morning, I had a new bank account with half our savings, a police report, a protective order in progress, and a voicemail inbox full of Noah begging and Diane calling me dramatic. I stayed gone for 3 weeks. Noah showed up at Mia's house every single day with flowers, coffee, and apologies that got more broken the longer I made him wait. He looked like he hadn't slept since the night he hit me. One afternoon, he sat on the porch steps and didn't even try to come inside. "I put her out," he said quietly. "Packed her stuff myself. Changed the locks. She's living in some extended stay off Briley Parkway now." I stayed in the doorway. "Why now, Noah? Why not the first time she called me trash in my own kitchen?" He looked down at his boots. "Because when I saw that test on the floor, and then saw what I'd done to you, I finally saw her. Really saw her. And I saw me turning into my dad. I hate that man, Harper. I won't become him." I didn't go home that day. Or the next. We started therapy, alone. Then he begged me to come to couples counseling. I agreed, but only if Mia sat in the waiting room every session in case I needed to bolt. He went no contact with Diane, deleted her from his phone, blocked her on everything, gave the therapist permission to confirm it. He had security cameras installed, new locks, the works. At 12 weeks, I let him come to an ultrasound. He cried harder than I did when we heard the heartbeat. I still didn't move back. At 20 weeks, we found out it's a girl. That's when I knew I had to decide. Cut him out forever or give him one chance to prove he was the man I married. I laid it out cold. 1. Diane never steps foot in our house again. Ever. No holidays, no pop-ins, no photos of the baby. 2. Therapy continues. Individual and couples. For at least a year. 3. The first time you raise your voice, much less your hand, I'm gone. No second chances. I keep the house. You keep paying the mortgage, and you see your daughter every other weekend with supervision. He signed papers that day giving me full custody if he ever hurts me again. 7 months pregnant, I moved back in. Slowly, one drawer at a time. Diane didn't go quietly. She showed up at my baby shower with a giant pink teddy bear and a fake smile. My friends formed a wall and walked her out while I stood there rubbing my belly, shaking but not crying. She tried again at the hospital after I gave birth. Somehow got my room number at Baptist and sent roses with a card that said, "Grandmothers forgive everything." Noah marched them to the nurse's station himself and had security put her on the permanent no-visitor list. Our daughter, Willow Ray Quinn, came home to a house that finally free of poison. Diane moved to Florida 6 months later. We got a single postcard that said, "I wish you well." We didn't write back. Some nights I still wake up reaching for the baseball bat I keep under the bed. Some nights Noah sleeps on the couch because he knows I need space. But most nights he holds my hand while Willow sleeps on his chest. And I remember why I gave him one last chance. I didn't forgive him because it was easy. I forgave him because our little girl deserves a father who chose to break a cycle instead of passing it on. And if he ever forgets that choice, I'll remind him. Fast. But for now, our house smells like cornbread and baby lotion. The doors are locked tight. And the only whispers in this home are the ones we make when we tell Willow she's loved, safe, and free. That's the life I fought for. That's the life we're keeping.